Prishindetia, Mira Mendes, that's good morning and hello. Welcome to Tirana, Albania. I'm standing here in the beautiful University Square, located just south of Skenderbeg Square, the center of the city. Today we're talking pros and cons of living in Tirana. I've spent almost a month in this beautiful city and I want to share with you the good, the bad, and everything in between. Come along. Pro number one that I'm going to share with you is the overall vibe of the city, meaning Albanian people in general are extremely friendly. The city of Tirana I find is extremely safe. I haven't had one moment where I feel even a little bit sketched out being here. And what's helpful for being a person abroad who obviously doesn't speak Albanian is that the majority of people under 30 speak English to a decent extent, if not a very high extent. And the people over 30 maybe speak a secondary language like Greek or Italian or Turkish. So you have a lot of options if you come to live in Albania if you don't speak Albanian. The overall vibe is just really good. The weather's really nice and warm most of the year, really, really hot in the summer. But overall, the city has a nice flow to it. It's not too busy, it's not too loud. There's a lot of modern things that you can enjoy while you're here. So overall vibe of the city, I give Tirana A+, love it. My second pro for living in Albania is the price. Albania is incredibly cheap. Tirana might be the most expensive city besides the Albanian Riviera in the south, but it's incredibly affordable if you're making a Western salary or even if you just have some money in general. The average salary here is only about 400 euros a month, which means that food here is really cheap. You can get breakfast and a coffee for 1 or 2 euros. You can get lunch or dinner for anywhere between like $3.50 to $5 to $7, depending on how much you get. The value here is really, really good. Cost of living is also pretty cheap. If you rent a long-term apartment here, you could probably rent it for something like 300 euros a month, and that's gonna be like an apartment with like a couple rooms. And if you're just renting a room in like in a flat, it could be 150 euros. We're talking $200. So the price in this country, amazing, 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 which gives it a really good value. Number 3 on the pros list is that Tirana is located in the central part of the country. That means you can get pretty much anywhere in the country within 6 hours by bus, or if you rent a car, like literally less than 4 hours. Albania is incredibly diverse, with the north having lots of different influences than the south, with many religions, many cultures, many peoples, different kinds of food all in the region. That makes Tirana a beautiful city to operate out of. So you can take day trips to see castles, you can take weekend trips to go stay in beautiful UNESCO heritage cities, to see churches and cathedrals, to see ancient history. They have great museums here. So Tirana is a perfect little hub city for exploring Albania, and it's the center of all of Albanian culture, so you get all of the influences from all around Albania found here in Tirana. Love that about the city. To go along with that thought is that Albania is incredibly close to many other countries proximity-wise. You're in the Mediterranean, so if you were to like go to the airport and hop on a plane, you could be in Italy, you could be in Spain, you could be in Germany within a couple hours. You can travel all over the Balkans quite easily. You can go to Turkey, you can go to Egypt, all within this little region that we're in, which makes Albania a perfect hub spot if you're an expat who likes to travel. This kind of nearness and the fact that there are also lots of cheap flights from Tirana really make it a great place to live if you're interested in travel. Number 4 is, I would say, Tirana is a perfect size for a city. It's just about 800,000 people, which means that Tirana is busy. You get all the kind of big city vibe that you're looking for. You get bars, you get nightlife, you get museums, you get cultural things, but it's not so big, so you can actually go to the same places, you can feel a part of something. Again, you can see the same people living in the same area. These are very like neighborhood kind of people. You get these nice little coffee shops. Tirana is an amazing city with a coffee shop culture, so you can really sit down and enjoy kind of that local feel, have the people that you see every day, but there's enough here to where you wouldn't be necessarily bored. Plus they have a big airport. A lot of the buses operate out of here, so it's easy to travel from. As far as being a big and small place, it's a nice combination, a nice size. Pro number 5, our last pro, is that Americans specifically, we get a really long visa tourist entry in Albania. Theoretically, you can stay up here for a year visa free, and getting a residence permit is really not super complicated. There's also a lot of jobs, especially in the teaching sector, for people who speak English, and you can make a pretty fair salary. So if you're looking at something a little bit more long-term in a nice, comfortable place with some decent pay, with a nice vibe, I think Tirana is definitely the best one. I'm not sure about the visa status for other people from other countries, but it's not complicated to come here. Albania wants people to visit. They make it clear that they want tourism to be open with their low levels of COVID regulations here. So overall, great place to be. And those are my 5 pros, and now on to the cons. There's always got to be cons, guys. If you liked the video so far, don't forget to hit the like button and maybe even toss me a subscribe. Now let's talk about some cons. So con number 1, you certainly wouldn't tell from me standing here, is the traffic in this city is horrendous. It's not a big city, as I said earlier, but for some reason they're doing lots of construction now, and the city's built in a ring, so the exterior parts of the ring are all under construction, meaning to get anywhere, even in this very reasonable sized city, takes a really long time. That means taxis are more expensive because you're gonna sit in them longer, and that means that just taking cars in general is not great. The roads in this country in general, even outside of Tirana, aren't super good. They have one major highway that kind of goes through the country, but the rest are kind of mountain roads, so driving here takes a little bit of finesse. The drivers are also that classic Balkan Turkish driver style where, you know, they're zooming in between everything with reckless abandon. They don't care if they hit you, they don't care if they hit your grandma. They just want to get to where they're going as quickly as possible. So driving cars here, tough one. Traffic, bad. Number 2 is an interesting one, I think, and this goes with a lot of countries, corrupt police. Now, I mean, police everywhere, you know, we know about police, but here specifically, they've been known to pull people over and fine them randomly, and instead of actually writing the fine, they'll, you know, ask for coffee money, so you'll pay up to 10 euro fine, 50 euro fine, 100 euro fine. This could be good or bad depending on who you are. So for, let's say you wanted to rent a car but you didn't have an international driver's license, you get pulled over, you can just pay the police off. They're not gonna actually give you a fine and take the car away from you. So that could be good, that could be a pro, but also if you need the police, sometimes, you know, for whatever situation, you may or may not have to bribe them. That's just a reality in, I think, the majority of countries in the world. And I don't know, so I'm putting it in the con category, but if you're really in a pickle and you just want to pay your way out of it, that could be a pro. Con number 3, and I'm not sure if this is just my building that I'm living in problem, but the electrical grid here is not very good. I've been in a few different places and the power has gone out for a certain amount of time, and then in my building, my power is continually going out. It's been going out, it went out 4 times in 1 month, which, you know, in the United States, I don't think my power has ever been out 1 time. Yeah, so you know, infrastructure in developing countries or countries that are you know, have more poverty than others, it definitely is impacted. So some things like electrical grid, some things like stuff that they have in the country that you can access, sometimes you can't get it here. There's a high import fee for you know, products from abroad. I was trying to buy a drone and it's just, they had like $200 for import fees. So there are these infrastructural things and tax things that you should know if you're going to live in a country like this. And good electricity, you know, like quality, like sustained electricity over an X amount of time. I'm not sure if they have figured it out yet, although the internet connection here is very strong, so I will give Albania that. Con number 4, I'm going to explain as getting deals. So if you stay here for a longer period of time, especially with apartments, you're going to pay a very fair price. But staying here for a short period of time, and especially not having an Albanian, like, let's say, credit card, can cost you a lot more in the short term. So renting an apartment, for example, like a good one, a single one, if you got a long-term contract, would be about half the price as it would be month to month, which you wouldn't normally see those differences so greatly. That's the same with renting a car. So you definitely get a lot of benefits for staying here longer. And there's also high ATM fees for withdrawing money as a foreigner. Sometimes it can be up to 10 euros for one withdrawal. But if you have euros and you transfer them into lek via an actual Albanian bank, of course you don't get that. So I would say big negative is just the being here short term is probably not as financially rewarding as being here long term. And to wrap it up, I will say the last con that I have is that the food is too good. You will definitely gain weight. Everything here is delicious. Grilled meats, yogurt products, cheese products. They do these really nice mountain country kind of pots of sorts, some hot pots, some clay pots. Everything in this country is delicious, and it's all about bread, cheese, and meat. So you will gain weight. Is it a bad thing? Yes. Is it not ideal? Yes. Is it hard to stop? Yes, because also they have great Italian gelato and desserts here. It's just phenomenal. I love the food culture here. But it is very hard on the waistline. So if you move to Albania, be prepared to buy some new pants. It could happen. It could very well happen to you. That being said, guys, Tirana is an amazing city. The people here are so friendly. I've been out maybe like 5-6 times with local Albanian people, and I have yet to pay one time. They refuse to let me pay for things. The streets are clean. The city functions pretty well. The weather is really nice most of the time. And the food is just delicious. So I really like Tirana. It's one of my favorite cities that I've been to in a long time. I'd chalk it up to a really miniature version of Istanbul. It has a lot of culture, a lot of museums, a lot of history, really nice people, and I can't say enough good things about it. Very sad to be leaving here in a week, but the adventure has to continue, and I know Tirana will always be here should I want to come back. So that is the pros and cons of life in Tirana, Albania. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Helps me out, helps the algorithm out. Hit that notification bell. Also important, we've got maybe 1 or 2 more videos from Albania, and then we are heading to Northern Macedonia, the home of the Balkan controversy that I would love to explain between Greece and Northern Macedonia. You'll get videos about that soon, so stay tuned for that. If you like this kind of more educational content about being an expat, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time from Berat.